Imagine waking up every day feeling scattered, overwhelmed, like life is running you instead of you running your life. You scroll, procrastinate, and suddenly the hours are gone and you're frustrated with yourself. The truth is, chaos in your life isn't because the world is against you. It's because you haven't forced yourself to take control. Today, we're going to talk about how to do exactly that. This is about building discipline, clarity, and momentum in a world designed to distract you. Most people go through life blaming circumstances, blaming other people, or waiting for someone to save them. They complain about jobs, relationships, or finances as if the world owes them something. Here's the truth. The world doesn't care. Nobody is coming to fix your life. The moment you stop pointing fingers and start owning every decision, every failure, every success, that's when your life changes. Radical responsibility isn't easy. It's uncomfortable because it forces you to confront every excuse you've ever made and discard it. When you take radical responsibility, you stop being a victim. Excuses die the moment you decide that no one else is in charge of your outcomes. You own your results, both good and bad, and that ownership is power. It's not about blaming yourself either. It's about recognizing that only you have the control necessary to move forward. Waiting for permission or external validation is a trap. Every second you spend blaming someone else is a second you could spend creating momentum. The people who succeed aren't luckier. They refuse to let life happen to them. Taking responsibility also means looking at your habits and routines with brutal honesty. Are you spending your time on distractions instead of progress? Are you feeding negativity or indulging in comfort instead of challenging yourself? When you own your choices, you stop making excuses about time, money, or skill. You face the fact that where you are right now is a result of the choices you've made, and the choices you make next determine where you go. Radical responsibility demands courage because it forces you to confront the truth about yourself. Most people resist responsibility because it's easier to blame, complain, or stay stuck. But the moment you embrace it, something incredible happens. Clarity. Suddenly, you see the path forward. Suddenly, you realize that no one can stop you except yourself. Every failure becomes a lesson, every mistake a stepping stone. When you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you unlock a sense of control that most people never experience. The freedom comes not from external circumstances, it comes from knowing that you are the driver of your own life. Radical responsibility also forces accountability. You can't just think about taking action, you must commit to it. You must set standards for yourself and refuse to let them slide. Every choice matters, from the way you spend your mornings to the people you let influence your decisions. When you take responsibility, you no longer blame a lack of resources or opportunity. You find solutions instead. You become resourceful, decisive, and relentless. Ownership transforms procrastination into action, fear into courage, and excuses into results. The hardest part is starting, because radical responsibility requires confronting discomfort, fear, and uncertainty. But every step you take in ownership compounds. Every decision you make intentionally, every habit you choose deliberately, shapes the trajectory of your life. You stop drifting through mediocrity and start creating momentum toward what matters most. Radical responsibility isn't a motivational phrase, it's a mindset, it's a lifestyle, and the moment you embrace it, nothing external can derail you because you finally understand that the power was yours all along. Your environment is a reflection of your mind, and if it's messy, chaotic, or cluttered, you will feel the same way inside. Most people underestimate how much energy is drained by disorder, distractions, and unfinished tasks surrounding them. That pile of papers on your desk, the emails you've ignored, the apps constantly buzzing, these aren't small problems. They chip away at your focus, your energy, and your clarity. Decluttering is not about perfection. It's about reclaiming mental space so you can think clearly and act decisively. Mental clutter is just as toxic as physical clutter. Thoughts, worries, and indecision pile up until you feel paralyzed. You carry the weight of obligations, regrets, and meaningless tasks that sap your momentum. Every unchecked item in your mind is an open tab stealing your attention. The first step to freedom is acknowledging it. Write down your thoughts, create lists, and prioritize. Get the chaos out of your head and onto paper or into a system where it can exist without controlling you. Decluttering forces focus. When you eliminate what doesn't serve you, the things that truly matter gain power. You can't grow, think creatively, or make progress in a space full of distractions. Every object, every notification, every mental knot takes energy you could be using to move forward. Removing unnecessary clutter is like clearing the weeds from a garden. The plants you want to flourish finally have room to grow. It's not just about tidying, it's about creating an environment that fuels productivity, clarity, and purpose. Many people resist decluttering because it feels uncomfortable or overwhelming, but that discomfort is temporary. The long-term benefits are life-changing. Once you take control of your environment, you feel a psychological lift. You feel lighter, freer, more capable. Your mind isn't constantly jumping between tasks and worries. You create a sanctuary that supports the life you want to build rather than holding you hostage in indecision and chaos. Clarity becomes your new default state and action becomes effortless. Decluttering also builds discipline. When you commit to removing what doesn't serve you, you practice making tough choices. You decide what stays and what goes, and that habit carries over into every area of life. You start saying no to distractions, no to negative influences, and yes to progress. Discipline in your surroundings breeds discipline in your actions. The environment you create becomes a mirror of your priorities and your ability to follow through. Finally, decluttering transforms energy into results. When your mind and space are free from chaos, your focus sharpens, your decisions become quicker, and your actions hit harder. You stop feeling stuck, scattered, or overwhelmed, and you start feeling powerful, capable, and unstoppable. Every item removed, every thought organized, every distraction eliminated is a step toward taking full control of your life. Decluttering isn't just cleaning. It's reclaiming your life from the noise and chaos that has been holding you back. Most people drift through their days reacting to whatever comes at them, hoping productivity and success will magically appear. They wake up late, scroll endlessly on their phones, answer emails they shouldn't, and end up wondering why nothing is happening in their lives. A life without structure is a life surrendered to distractions. Designing your day with purpose means deciding in advance how your hours will be spent and refusing to let random events dictate your outcomes. It's not about rigidity, it's about taking control and aligning your time with your goals, so your actions serve a bigger plan. Your mornings set the tone for the entire day. What you do in the first hour after waking determines whether you feel empowered or scattered. Most people waste it on autopilot, checking social media, responding to messages, or hitting snooze repeatedly. A purposeful routine prioritizes your mind and body first. Exercise, meditation, or planning your day might seem small, but they are the foundation for a life where you feel in control. These small, intentional actions compound over time into massive results, and the energy they create fuels everything else you do. Every decision throughout the day should be intentional. Stop reacting, start acting with purpose. Meetings, tasks, and responsibilities should serve your larger goals, not distract you from them. Most people operate in survival mode, constantly putting out fires instead of building momentum toward what matters. By designing your routine with purpose, you become proactive, not reactive. You decide where your energy goes, and that makes every hour productive. Even breaks and downtime are structured to recharge your mind and prevent burnout. A purposeful routine also eliminates decision fatigue. When you plan in advance, you remove the stress of constant choices about what to do next. You no longer waste energy debating whether to start a task or which small distraction to indulge. Your day flows like a well-designed machine where each action naturally leads to the next. Decision fatigue is subtle but deadly, quietly draining motivation and focus. Structuring your hours in advance preserves mental energy for the tasks that matter most, keeping you sharp and unstoppable. Designing your routine is also about aligning actions with goals. Too many people work hard but never make progress because their daily habits aren't connected to their larger vision. Every hour should serve your objectives. Every activity should move the needle forward. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what counts. When your routine is purposeful, every action becomes a tool, every hour a building block, and every day a step closer to the life you want. Momentum builds naturally when your actions are aligned with your intentions. Finally, a purposeful routine gives you control and confidence. Chaos creates stress, indecision, and doubt. Structure creates freedom. When you know what you are doing and why, you feel empowered rather than overwhelmed. Your day no longer dictates you, you dictate your day. Small intentional choices compound, and over time, they shape a life where you are in charge, focused, and unstoppable. Designing your routine isn't a restriction, it's the ultimate strategy for winning your life back from distraction and mediocrity. Most people think that being busy equals being productive, but that's a trap. Filling your day with tasks that feel urgent but don't actually matter keeps you trapped in mediocrity. Prioritizing ruthlessly means deciding what truly moves you forward and letting go of everything else. It's uncomfortable because it forces you to say no to commitments, people, and activities that don't serve your goals. Every yes to the trivial is a no to your future. Discipline in your choices is the gateway to results that most people never achieve. Ruthless prioritization starts with clarity about what matters. What is your goal? What are your highest impact actions? Most people drift because they don't know what is truly important. When you identify the tasks that actually move the needle, every decision becomes easier. You no longer waste energy on busy work or distractions. Instead, you focus relentlessly on the activities that bring measurable progress. Prioritizing isn't just about doing less, it's about doing the right things with full intensity. Saying no is hard, but it's necessary. People will test you, opportunities will tempt you, and distractions will scream for attention. If you're unwilling to decline the things that don't matter, you will never achieve your potential. Every time you say yes to the wrong thing, you dilute your focus and weaken your impact. Ruthless prioritization means protecting your time, energy, and focus like a fortress. It's not selfish, it's strategic. You're investing in yourself, your goals, and your future. Prioritization also forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about your habits and commitments. You have to acknowledge what isn't working and eliminate it, even if it's familiar or easy. Comfort is the enemy of progress, and most people cling to what feels safe instead of what's effective. The courage to cut away the unnecessary is what separates achievers from dreamers. Every item removed, every commitment declined is a statement that you control your time and refuse to settle for mediocrity. When you prioritize ruthlessly, you also become decisive. Decision-making becomes faster and clearer because you have a framework for evaluating what matters. Urgent tasks that are meaningless no longer derail you. Opportunities that don't align with your goals no longer tempt you. You act swiftly, confidently, and deliberately on what counts. Momentum builds because every action is purposeful, every step directed toward a meaningful outcome, and every decision aligned with your vision. Finally, ruthless prioritization transforms your life by creating space for growth and excellence. You stop wasting energy, time, and attention on the insignificant and start pouring it into what truly matters. Your focus sharpens, your results multiply, and your confidence grows. Every choice becomes a declaration of your values and vision. Prioritizing ruthlessly isn't just a productivity tactic, it's a mindset, a lifestyle, and a commitment to living intentionally. If you master it, nothing can derail you because your life will finally reflect what's most important. Most people think motivation alone will carry them forward, but motivation is fleeting. One day you're inspired, the next day you're tired or distracted, and suddenly nothing gets done. Accountability is the tool that forces action even when you don't feel like it. It creates a structure that prevents excuses from taking over and ensures you follow through on your commitments. Without accountability, your goals remain ideas and dreams, but with it, they become inevitable outcomes. It's the difference between wishing for success and actually achieving it. Accountability starts by making yourself visible. You can't hide from it or avoid it, and that's the point. Whether it's a partner, a friend, a coach, or a public declaration, letting someone know what you are committing to creates pressure you cannot ignore. The human mind is wired to resist shame and embarrassment. So when someone else is watching, you step up. You act because you know the alternative is failure in front of someone else. That fear is not weakness, it's leverage. Leverage converts intention into results. True accountability goes beyond checking boxes. It's not just about reporting progress, it's about creating consequences for inaction. If you miss a deadline or fail to perform, there is a cost. That cost can be social, financial, or personal, but it has to be real. Without consequences, commitment is optional, and optional leads to nothing. When you design your life so that action is non-negotiable, excuses vanish. You stop waiting for the perfect mood or the right moment because the structure demands it and the results speak for themselves. Accountability also teaches discipline. You learn to respect your commitments, your time, and your own potential. It forces you to act even when energy is low or motivation fades. Most people wait until they feel like doing something, but that is the trap. Progress is built on consistency, not mood. When you hold yourself accountable or allow others to hold you accountable, you develop the habit of execution, and habits compound into unstoppable momentum. Using accountability also amplifies focus. When someone is monitoring your actions, you stop wasting time on trivial distractions. You prioritize what truly matters because you know your progress will be evaluated. Every hour, every task, every decision gains weight and significance. This external pressure becomes internal discipline. You start performing at a higher level, not because you have to, but because you refuse to let yourself or others down. Momentum grows, results accelerate, and success becomes inevitable. Finally, accountability transforms your life because it turns commitment into action. Ideas remain ideas until action is taken, and action rarely happens without pressure